so I just want to show you something. So I've got a nice little Weber baby grand here, and this is a PDS228 PianoDisc system. And in this case, this particular control unit does work, and it works perfectly, but I just turned it off so that I can show you how, if you want to, you can use the digital side of PianoStream and send MIDI data straight into the Midi In on the CPU. And it works incredibly well. And I gotta tune this piano, but you see how nicely that works. Let's go to a different song. Just really nice. Like I said, really, really beautiful volume control here. And I just like this because you can use it in conjunction with that, or I have seen it where people have broken this or it's missing from a move, and if that's the case, this sure comes in handy because you can just plug right into the Midi In. So let me hit the pause button, and this is the digital side, piano only, of PianoStream. There's the analog side. There's the digital side. You touch this little Bluetooth thingy, and you'll see that I'm connected to Weber PD. See that? And it's an MD-BTO1 that I put connected under the piano, and then I just renamed it Weber PD. So let's hit done. Let's hit OK, and let's go into the piano. Oh, I made a mess as always, but let me show you exactly how this works. Let me go like this. Now I'm gonna need a light again, but that's okay. Okay, so there's the MD-BTO1, okay? And what's nice, this is actually pretty slick. Let me show you. Okay, so, okay, hold on, sorry. I gotta show you something here. Okay. Okay. You know what? I can't find. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry about that, people. Okay, so I want you to see how the MD-BTO1. You know what? It's 2 in the morning. I'm really tired. But anyway, you got the MD-BTO1 right there. Okay, and so it just curves around right there and plugs straight into the Midi In on the CPU, which is really nice. Then, what's nice about the PDS228, this has a toroidal transformer. And these things were as robust, like I said, it's 2 in the morning here. These things were extremely robust, and they last for 30 years, not even kidding you. But what's nice about this particular system is that here's the speaker, but on the back of the speaker, there's an AC outlet, which was there so that you could have 2 speakers. This piano only has 1, and that was quite often the case. And if that's the case, then you can get this little power adapter from yours truly. And I'm not China, but I sell it for a reasonable price. But so it's a little power adapter. It's a 5-volt adapter with a little MIDI end on it, okay? So you plug it into the back of the speaker, which is, like I said, it's pretty slick. Plug it into the back of the speaker, and then this end plugs in to the other end of the MD-BTO1. And remember, think of it this way. A MIDI signal from PianoStream goes into the MD-BTO1 and then flies into the in. So it flies through the air, goes into that, and then travels down this wire and right into the Midi In on the CPU. And it's really slick though, because once again, you just use the speaker power and run that baby right into the Midi In, and then you've got the digital side of PianoStream, and you heard it. It's actually pretty nice, not bad at all. I never recommend to just, get rid of the control unit because it's got settings that PianoStream can't simulate, but it gets pretty close and does a pretty nice job. So once again, though, I've seen it many times where that thing's missing or broken, but this is still really slick though, because you just go straight into the Midi In, or you could plug into the back of the PDS228 and use the bypass mode, but nobody can ever remember how to do it. So it's easier just to go like this. And then some people don't even want a control unit any day. Actually, nowadays, nobody wants a control unit on the front of the piano. So you could actually take the control unit. Well, and like I said, I can't say that, I mean, it's best to have it and it works perfectly, but you could move it under the piano, or you could just, if it were not there, I was going to say, you don't have to, I mean, if it weren't there, you wouldn't be able to use it anyway. But what I'm getting at is that I don't want people to think that I think you should get rid of the control unit, which is, I mean, that's a bad idea. Don't get rid of it. But you could, move it somewhere, move it on the side of the piano, or even set it on a shelf for now if you don't want to use it, but you still want to keep it though, because when you calibrate everything, those settings stay on this CPU, which is really nice. Thank goodness they don't stay on the control unit. They stay here. So anyway, okay, now I should, I'll show you. Let me just get back out and show you one other thing that comes in really handy with PianoStream is that you can push a little button on the app and activate this solenoid. And as you're pushing the button on the app, you can lay underneath the piano and loosen this nut and loosen that nut and just adjust this a little bit to make this thing a little quieter. You want it to move, those dampers above the strings, but not too far because you don't want it to slam down. So let me just quickly show you that. But this makes sense though, right? Pretty slick. Now, one other thing, you could use a device called a Midi jack, but the butt with that device, you know what? There's really not a butt. That thing actually is pretty dang nice. I was just going to say, I still think you could get a 5-volt adapter, and plug it in right there where I plugged in this one. I'm pretty sure it would fit nicely. Just a 5-volt B to USB, adapter, USB-C, by the way. And then the Midi jack, you just take one end of it and plug it into here. And then that way you don't have to get this device from me. But if you want to get this from me, let me know because it is pretty dang slick. So, okay, let me just show you this really fast. Let me get out. Okay, let's go over here. And you're going to see how nice this is. Okay. Oh, and one other thing I have to tell you is that when you use the digital side of PianoStream, here is the little Bluetooth connection, okay? You have to turn on, once you're connected, I'm connected to the Weber PD. All right, let me change this. Okay, I'm connected to the Weber PD. And then once you are connected, then you just hit done. And then notice at the bottom, and we need to move this switch so that you can see it. See where it says volume control for older systems? If you don't have that on, you won't be able to control the volume of the piano. So let's turn that baby on. Okay, it's on now. And now I'm gonna hit okay. See that right there? Volume control for older systems. Turn that baby on. Okay, turn that baby on and then hit okay. And now you're going to be able to control the volume of this thing nicely. And sorry, this video is getting kind of long, but this is good info. Pretty dang nice. And it's like 2 in the morning and I'm tired and I can't work on this anymore. But I'll come back and I'll work on it again. And I just want to show you how handy this little trick is. Touch the little gear cog and see where it says sustain test. You can push that and watch those dampers go up and down. Okay, so I'm pushing it and holding it, push and hold. And so when I'm under the piano, I can easily activate that solenoid and adjust it and get it as quiet as possible, okay? So anyway, I probably made this video longer than it needed to be, but I still think it's very, very valuable to know that you can adjust those with this button while you're under the piano, which is really nice. And then once again, if you don't have this unit, or if you want to use it in conjunction with PianoStream, you can. Because like I said, that baby's not even on. So, but just come up here, connect to your Bluetooth right there, and then hit done. And then make sure you have on volume control for older systems, okay? All right, so like I said, this was probably longer than it should have been, but good info here. Okay, see ya.